It's your show, Rachel.
This week, we discuss the story of a guy who gets caught up in mayhem trying to retire from his marijuana business in Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman. I'm Rachel.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Chad.
And you're listening to episode 84 of We Used to Talk About This at Work.
All right. So, yeah. How does it feel to be really in that first trailer, Rachel?
It's a little strange. I'm used to hearing you guys do the intros, so
I mean, we're giving you the full package here of, this is your 11th appearance. You got your little card, you got your little stamp. The next person to cross that threshold will not get such service because it's just going to be like diminishing returns.
okay. So what does the next person get?
I mean, no, they still get to pick the movie, but they may not get to do the intro.
Oh, so I'm like maybe possibly the lucky only one to do it.
And I was feeling lazy because I didn't really feel like writing anything.
It's a smart way to play it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, Rachel, what you been up to, lady? I want to say, I almost said it's been a minute, but that would be a fucking lie because you were on the show last week.
Yeah. I guess I was. It doesn't feel like it feels like it's been longer. But
well, in reality, it has, but not for the listeners.
That's true.
We recorded that episode like 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. I was thinking it had been longer. It felt longer.
Yes, we can't break the illusion that I just broke.
We don't edit that out though.
No, we won't. All right. So what's been going on, Rachel? How you been?
Well, November was Diabetes Awareness Month. So I wore my blue on Fridays in World Diabetes Day.
So have we actually talked about this on the show that you have diabetes?
I don't know.
Well, what about your journey through that do you feel comfortable talking about?
I'm pretty comfortable talking about any of it.
So can you tell us about when you were diagnosed with diabetes and which one you have?
Yeah. So I was diagnosed with type 1, which is when your body attacks the insulin producing cells and then your body no longer makes insulin. So you have to take insulin with shots or with an insulin pump, or now they have inhaled insulin.
Really?
So they have inhaled insulin now. It's kind of crazy.
I like an inhaler. So
yeah, they keep coming out with new technology. It's really cool.
That's interesting. Like, I would be afraid that I didn't do the inhaler right and I didn't get the proper amount of insulin. Me personally.
I mean, I guess they've done enough studies that they know how it works and they can teach you how to do it. I had to learn how to take shots and how to put my pump in. So I guess it's the same concept.
Makes sense.
But yeah, I was diagnosed when I was 17 and a half. And I was getting really bad stomach aches from high blood sugars. And we think we caught it pretty early. But as soon as I got the insulin in my system, I was feeling better. So that's definitely what was wrong with me.
Wow. So okay. So you've lived with it for a fair amount of time.
Yep. For about 13 and a half years.
And what is the significance of blue?
That's the color of the ribbons and the awareness stuff. I'm not sure why they picked the color blue, but that's the color.
You don't hear a lot about Diabetes Awareness Month. You hear about diabetes, but you don't it's not a
It's not as big as like was it breast cancer?
Breast cancer awareness or something like that. Yeah.
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 Yeah, because I didn't even know they had their own month.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know when I learned about it because I didn't know about it when I was first diagnosed either. Like, I've been learning a lot since I was diagnosed.
Mhm.
So,
I mean, it's more personal now than
right,
before. So like before you're like, oh yeah, that's a thing, but how much do you care?
right. And
Right.
like a lot of times people know that there's different types, but you don't know the differences and things like that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always remember the second one is the one if you take the right choices and do the right thing, you can get rid of it, right?
sometimes it depends on the situation and the person. Like it's really individual to the person. So some people can be diagnosed with pre-diabetes and then with lifestyle changes that kind of goes away.
Mhm.
But then it could come back later on in life with, because age is a factor. Like there are a lot of different factors with type 2. So it just kind of depends.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you guys have any other questions, I'm here for you.
Appreciate you, Rachel. I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
So what else has been going on?
Well, my mom got me a bookcase for Hanukkah, which I was really excited about, but also it came with a little bit of like, all right, she wants me to bring more stuff from my parents' house over to my apartment. So, 'cause she's been trying to clear stuff out and get me and my brother to clear stuff out of the house and take stuff with us so that she has more room, and they're doing renovations on their house coming up soon, so she's going to have to move like a bunch of stuff from the area that's getting renovated into like our respective former rooms.
So
So
she keeps that shit preserved and shit. Like you still have
for
your
the
I don't,
most part.
I'm trying to think. Let me think. Your age range. So you still got your Paramore posters on the wall. I almost said Blink 182, but that's you're a little younger. You're a little too young for that.
No, I don't have any Paramore posters, but it's changed some. Like our rooms have changed some, but a lot of the stuff is the same. So
So it's no next time she's probably gonna get you like forcing you to get your stuff. Rachel, you know what? Guess what we got you? We got you a shed. So you put this
a
there.
storage unit.
Yeah,
Happy Hanukkah.
right.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hanukkah. So
Yeah.
that's a really early Hanukkah gift.
It is, and I mean, I like I said, I think there was like a little bit of ulterior motives, which not that I don't appreciate the bookcase and didn't want it because I did,
Just a little bit of
but
ulterior motive.
she wanted me to, yeah, just a little bit.
She wanted you to get that shit out her goddamn house, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
pretty much. So, so I, went through some stuff this weekend and I brought some more books over and I'm working my way through it. Um, do you, are your parents like that? Do you guys still have stuff at your parents' places?
Yes.
No,
You don't?
no,
Your stuff's all out, Matt?
yes.
Man, I feel like I need to call shenanigans.
Why? What's
Where's your car?
Oh, well, actually, okay, that's at my sister's house.
It wasn't when I was hanging out with you when you came home.
Right. Well, that time it was right now. It's at my sister's house. But yeah, so I guess the only thing I have at my parents' house is my car. Yeah, I don't think I have anything at their house.
You don't think?
Nah, because I'm like, even I had, yeah. I mean, I've been gone for away from my parents for
3, 4, 3 years, right? I'm sorry, you don't mean out the country, you mean as a
Like
whole.
I've been since the Navy, I've been gone, and there was nothing in their house before then, and then yeah, I probably have nothing. Maybe some pictures, but besides that, yeah, I have no like books or stuff like that. And plus, we moved a lot and everything else like that. So we wasn't like one house where I was here when I was 11 or 12, and we grew up in this one house. We moved multiple times. So yeah, I don't think I have anything.
Yeah, I got all sorts of shit at my grandmother's house. So
Once you gonna pick that up?
I will.
Eventually.
At some point in my life, I will.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's free storage, all right?
Right. And I always give you an excuse to come over.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm over there a lot. But yeah. So with Hanukkah, like, you guys have any Hanukkah plans?
Not really. I mean, sometimes we light the candles together or like Zoom and light the
Sometimes.
candles, but
Oh, Zoom. What the heck? You better get in that car, Rachel.
I mean, maybe it's not Hanukkah's not that big of a deal. Like it gets lumped in with Christmas, but it's like it's a low key holiday for us. So
That's y'all Christmas, all right? Show some respect. The Rugrats made a whole special about why that's important, okay? We watched it last year and it was a fucking mess.
but it's not like the gifts came on with Christmas. Like the like there are more important holidays in the Jewish calendar than Hanukkah.
Can you name one?
Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Passover.
Is that one or
That's
Three.
three.
three? Oh, 'cause I've heard of Passover. The first two I'd ever heard of.
Yeah, Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah are like the high holidays. Rosh Hashanah is the Jewish New Year, and Yom Kippur is like the Day of Atonement. So looking back on the past year, making amends and trying to do better the coming year.
Okay. Yeah, Japan has something like that where it's more of like what they call it, bonenkai. It's like a party you get together with like either your family or coworkers at the end of the year, and you basically what they say, like forget the year, that's done, relax before you start the new year, and with all your new hopes and dreams of the new year. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think a couple different cultures have Festival of Lights holidays and like New Year, end of year, beginning of year stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of festivities, we kind of had this work party like a week or two ago.
Was it at work or offsite?
It was at work.
God, that's lame. Like when they had those offsite ones and shit where things get a little weird. Or like you bring a date and then they're like, oh wait.
You have a life outside of work.
And they're like, wait. You aren't straight. Not you, but I'm just like,
Yeah.
I just put that on at work.
which yeah. This is my true life.
Right.
So how'd your work party go?
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, was it for Thanksgiving or Christmas? Well, holidays.
I guess it was for Thanksgiving if you had to pick one. I don't really know. Like, it was just a general, like, food and get together, and maybe it was like end of our fiscal year or something.
But it just sounds like a standard issue potluck, Rachel.
It kind of was, except for it was like for a whole department, and we don't get together as a whole department a lot. It's usually like smaller stuff.
Mhm.
So, Yeah, and they had everyone go around and do an icebreaker, which is kind of like what do you guys say when they did share a fun fact about you? I always hate that one.
Fun fact, I co-host a podcast.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, Rachel, it's not hard, okay? Just get a podcast, then you're interesting like instantly.
I remember when I got out the Navy, I applied for to work at the casino.
Ooh.
And I got an interview, and they interviewed you together with like 13 people. So we're all in this big room.
What's this Hollywood?
Maristar, Hollywood, one of those.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
of
one
those.
next to the one on the same property as the concert hall.
Yeah,
Because
I think that's Hollywood.
I interviewed there too.
Yeah, so like we interviewed, like it's all of us together, like random people showing up. You don't know who these people are, and like they're just doing these type of icebreaker stuff to where name something or something interesting, and we had to play like these team building games and stuff like that, and then basically and then like not eliminate us, but then they were like because it's like three judges or three, not judges, it's not a talent show, but
It kind of is.
Right, because then like at the end they're like, all right, we have, say there was 15 of us, they'd be like, all right, we got 8 positions. So then at the end they'd be like, all right, if we call your name, then you have to leave. And then those 8 people will whatever. So like, of course it's easy for me. I would be like, oh, I was in the Navy. I was stationed in Japan. And they
Serving
like that
my
kind of
country,
putting my life on the line just to come back and work at a casino, so it always helps.
Nice.
But
you guys have easy ones. I mean, I kind of have some go-tos.
You
but
have diabetes?
I would not share that as a fun fact about me.
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. We are doing fun facts. I'm sorry. That's not a fun fact. That is just a fact.
Not really. It's not that much
Right.
fun.
And they're gonna be like, oh, or somebody else might be like, wait, I have diabetes too.
But it hasn't been fun.
Yeah, not fun.
Right.
Well, Rachel, you're really into movies. You're a movie buff.
I could say that. I
Oh, wait, what lame shit did you say?
I said that I was a twin.
Oh, yeah, I always forget about that.
Yeah, and then I said that I had been to almost all 50 states.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I've been to 44 out of 50.
What's the 6?
Alaska, Wyoming, Vermont, Delaware.
Oh, the lame ass states.
Sorry,
listeners in those states.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, you don't need to be going to those places anyway.
Right.
Oregon, I'm missing Oregon, and I'm missing one more that I can't remember.
So you've been to Alabama?
I've been to Alabama.
Interesting.
Nebraska.
Yeah, I lived in Nebraska.
Oh, no. I was like, what? But no, I knew that.
Yeah.
Interesting, Rachel.
Yeah. And one thing I learned recently was interesting about me, which I didn't think was interesting, was I can write upside down and backwards.
I don't follow.
So I can write upside down, like I can write so that it's upside down for me, but it's right side up for someone facing me.
Oh, that's
Or
cool.
I can write
I thought you meant you upside down.
Right, me too.
Or I can write backwards, as in like going from right to left instead of left to right.
And how did you know that you could do that?
Okay, so the writing upside down came from passing notes in class. It was easier to just like turn around and write.
You were a bad kid, Rachel?
Just sometimes. And
interesting.
I don't know how I learned that I could write backwards. I think I just randomly did it sometimes, and I didn't think it was that interesting, but one of my friends from Nebraska actually was like, "You can do that? That's super cool." And I was like, "Really?" Because I didn't think it was that big of a.
Wait, what? Wait, I think somebody knocked at the door. Hold up. Or
Oh,
maybe I'm gonna be killed. Hold up.
oh no, hopefully not.
Maybe it's the police. Don't answer it. They need a warrant.
We'll see what happens when he opens the door, I guess. Was it someone else's apartment?
Or maybe something fell. I don't know.
Oh.
That was weird.
Well, we're glad you're still alive.
Me too. I can't die on air. I mean, yes, it might give us a small boost, but not big enough to what we want.
Right. And then I'm not trying to do this show without you. That's more work.
I didn't want to say that, but my death would be the death of this podcast, and I can't have that.
Or if not, it would not be every weekly. It's gonna be like, when's the new episode? 3 months.
Have you been watching anything, Rachel?
Yeah, so I've started a couple TV shows and I watched a movie. They're all on Hulu. So Fleishman in Trouble, I watched on Hulu, which is based on a book. I didn't even know that. But it's about this guy going through a divorce with his wife, and his wife decides that she needs to go on this yoga retreat and kind of disappears, and they have 2 kids, and so he's left to kind of deal with like her not being around to take the kids, and he's got work, and
He's also out here trying to fuck.
yes, it interrupts his dating scene a lot.
Is he on Tinder?
I don't know what app he's on, but he was having a great summer of
He was having hot boy summer.
yeah, he was having hot boy summer before he left, and
That's the dream.
left dry.
We've all been there, right, Matt?
You ain't lying.
So yeah, it's been interesting. It's been like I think the realist to life show that I've been watching. Other stuff has been like funny or like, in a different world, but this feels like very much in the real world and like about a real person and a real story kind of thing.
So it feels depressing as fuck.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, some parts there is a little bit of comic relief, but
you will prefer it stick to the hot boy summer parts and less of the shit. I have to be a parent now.
I mean, I think he would prefer that too, the main character, for sure.
We all would prefer that, Rachel.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I started watching Welcome to the Chippendales, which has been interesting. So it's like based on the story of how the Chippendales started out.
Is it getting your blood flowing?
I mean, not really. But I'm waiting for it to.
Are they not doing like dancing?
They are, but that's not like the main part of it. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and then also it started, back in was it like the 70s or 80s? So they kind of have crazy hair and like they're not the Chippendales that we would think of now yet.
I got you. So it's not hot. It's not hot for you because you don't like that old man shit.
I guess.
So you need modern Chippendales. I got you.
I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens as the show progresses.
So you saying you don't want me to like you want me to sponsor a trip to Vegas so you can see the current Chippendales?
Yes, podcast field trip.
Oh wait, yes. Wait, what? I wasn't expecting you to be like yes. I want. Wait, how far do they go?
I don't know.
Are you familiar, Matt?
No, but I am looking it up though.
All right, Matt's always good for that research and shit.
Well, they
But yeah.
formed in 79.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
This does get dark. This
Yeah,
does
it
get dark.
does. It is.
And murder for hire and some other stuff gets involved.
Yeah, there's
Well,
some serious drama behind the scenes.
I don't like it when I can tell people are being fake.
mm-hmm.
And so like it feels like that energy at the strip club.
I mean, they're doing that everywhere though.
Yeah. But it's like it's more so I feel like at like a Hooters, like I went there and the one was all like, "Oh, I really like your glasses," and I'm like, "Okay, thank you."
Maybe she really likes your glasses.
It just did. It just felt too artificial, man.
So if you went to Applebee's and they were like, "Hey, I really like your glasses," would you felt the same way?
I'd be like, "Yeah, you just trying to get a goddamn bigger tip on this food that y'all microwaved in the back."
But yeah, I figure like any kind of like in the service industry, I guess maybe if you had like an older woman, like a grandma, and they were nice to you, I feel like she's being nice to you because
Yeah,
she's an older woman.
that feels
Genuine.
genuine, even though it's probably not.
Right. But I just feel like anybody else, they're just being nice because that's part of the job or whatever like that to get a tip or get whatever it is. But I think if like an older grandma was like, "Hey, baby, I like your glasses," you'd be
I'd be
like,
like,
"Thank you."
thank you, grandma, ma'am.
Yeah.
But no, that's funny you said it because it's like I was having a similar conversation. Like, I bought something off of Facebook Marketplace, and it was from like an older woman. And I was talking to somebody about it, and they were like, "You're just gonna go to her house?" And I'm like, "She gave me her address. It's some old lady." Like, I feel more comfortable around an older person than a younger person.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like specifically in that situation or in general?
no, like I would have sex with her if that's what you're asking.
That's not what I was asking, but okay.
No, it's like in that kind of scenario where it's like, oh yeah, this is Facebook Marketplace. Like, okay, I feel comfortable. Like this old lady gave me her address. I don't feel like I'm going to get rolled.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you never know if someone else is going to be there.
that is true. That is true. But I still feel safe.
I agree.
Yeah,
Why would this why was this sweet old lady try to rob me?
right. She's a career criminal. You watch anything else, Rachel?
So I watched this movie today called Alone Together on Hulu, and it was like a pandemic romance.
Is Chechu or Ejiofor in this?
No, it was somebody else. Oh, what's his name? I'm blanking on his name. It was Katie Holmes,
Oh, Jim
Jim
Sturgis,
Sturgis, and who was the guy who played her boyfriend?
Derek Luke.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this trailer. I find it funny that nowadays in these rom-coms, like they're like, oh yeah, we're being progressive. They'll start off in an interracial relationship, and then by the end of it, they're with somebody of the same race.
Yeah.
Like this is the wrong order here, guys.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for those that don't know, Derek Luke was Antoine Fisher in the movie Antoine Fisher.
Okay.
No one cares. I'm sorry. Even the listeners don't care. I'm sorry. Please continue, Rachel.
Yeah, so it starts off where she's in this relationship with this guy and they book an Airbnb to stay in to get away from New York City because the city's shutting down, it's not safe. The pandemic's spreading. Like this happened early on, like spring of the pandemic. And then she goes to the Airbnb. He says he's worried about his parents and stays behind. And then someone else is there and had booked the B&B too, Jim Sturgis's character. So then they stay together in the Airbnb. And
That
of course,
they've
Just
been
like just like Barbarian.
that, and also there was a movie on Netflix that did that.
yeah.
Like, why are people using this fucking? Why are they quickly making that a tired trope?
Right.
I don't know.
Because that's the new thing. These young kids, they can relate to Airbnbs. They can relate to, there was a mix up. We have to stay here together.
And
Yeah, but I don't
romance
know.
ensues.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I don't know anyone who would settle for like staying at an Airbnb with a stranger though.
Right. Well, a woman. Like a dude would be like, hell yeah. But a woman would be like, sir, just like in Barbarian, where she was like, I'm keeping this door locked because I don't know you, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just looked, and Derek Luke and Katie Holmes also played a couple in a movie that came out in 2003 called Pieces of April, which, funny enough, is a Thanksgiving movie.
Mm.
So I wonder if this is a spiritual sequel where they break up when she comes to her senses and gets with a white man.
Hmm.
A continuation story. I like that.
Yeah. She was confused 20 years ago, but
Right.
she's back on
Right.
track. There would be no interracial relationships here. All right, so I assume her boyfriend Derek Luke is an asshole. That's why she decides to get with a white man.
Kinda. I think there's issues on both sides. And honestly, I thought they could have gone way farther with the plot and the because the pandemic did exacerbate like relationship issues with people who are in relationships and like they why are you laughing
I've
at me?
I've heard of that. I've heard that happening to people.
Oh,
I've heard that happen to people too. I don't know if you've heard that happening to people, Rachel, but I've heard actually.
I've definitely heard of that happening to people, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they could have gone farther with it. It was more like communication was not good in the first place, and it just kept going on like that. It wasn't like the pandemic really made anything worse. It was more like she met a guy who she was happier with, and so that like but then it was weird because she kind of said we need some space after she met, Jim Sturgis's character, right?
Mm-hmm.
To her boyfriend. And then he comes to the Airbnb after his dad dies. I'm just going full on with the spoilers here.
Yeah.
And he wanted to see her and he's like, "What's this other guy doing here?"
No,
And
at
she's
no
like, "I
point was
left
she
you that
like.
message."
At no point was she like, I'm living with a dude in this house.
Right?
That's funny.
And then oh, where was I going with this? But then she's like, "Oh, his dad just died. I can't tell him to leave." So the other guy leaves, even though
Right.
she's way happier with him, and she was essentially trying to like not be with her boyfriend. So then they're a thing again. And then later on, he's like, "I don't think we're good for each other right now." And then they both leave, go back to the city, and then, in the end, she finds Jim Sturgis's character, and they get back together. So it's like a really weird trajectory plot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
weird. And they did a little bit of showing how the pandemic affected people, but I thought they could have gone way harder with it. I don't know if it's like too much too soon if they had gone harder with it, but
You mean specifically like with relationships?
well, with relationships and also just with in general how the pandemic affected people. It showed a little bit of the isolation and a little bit of the mask wearing and hand sanitizing, and a little bit of New York being a ghost town, but it wasn't as like drastic as I think it was in real life.
I get you.
That was my impression of it anyway.
Yeah. Look at you, Rachel. Running this show. Your topics, we're at 42 minutes.
And I thought it was crazy that this is like almost exactly a year, or if not exactly a year, since I was first on your podcast.
That is about right. It was like maybe before Thanksgiving last year.
It was after.
It was?
Because we talked about the food.
Oh, shit. You're right. You are right.
Talked about my grandma's pumpkin bread.
Oh, was that a thing? Was that a thing this year?
No, she didn't make it this year.
No.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild that it's been a whole year since you've been on the show, and you've just been on the show so goddamn much that you're fucking running shit now.
Apparently.
Don't care for it. Not a fan.
Hey, but the people like her voice. We got to give the people what they want.
That is true, Rachel. You are a fan favorite.
Aw, thanks, fans.
Well, okay, since we're in this section. So in this last year of you being on this podcast and getting your voice out there, like, what are some of your takeaways?
It's been fun. I was really nervous for that first one. I didn't realize how much fun it would be. So thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
And I've gotten exposed to more movies that I wouldn't have maybe seen otherwise. So that's been cool.
Me too, honestly, on that one. Because a lot of stuff I wouldn't have watched if it wasn't for this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I feel similar, even though I usually tell y'all what movie to watch, but I feel similar.
Right.
But okay, so I'm looking at your episodes. 8 Crazy Nights. Then you did a best of, worst of. Oh yeah, the boy band con. That was an interesting one.
I like that one.
Yeah, because we didn't do shit.
Right.
The unbearable weight of massive talent. Everything, everywhere, all at once. The Black Phone. Edge of Tomorrow. That's one of my favorites, because we were all together. Oh, I forgot you were on the Vengeance episode. Confess Fletch.
Mm-hmm.
And then that holiday craziness.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at you, Rachel. Matt, what you been up to, my guy?
I was able to watch the TV show Pepsi, Where's My Jet on Netflix.
Can you explain to me why that's a TV show and not a movie?
Because it's not enough content and they had to stretch this thing out.
Wait, what?
It's not enough for a movie.
But
like
it's
they
enough.
had to add,
it's enough for a TV show.
Yeah.
It's only
that's the opposite, man.
It's only 4 episodes. Where it's honestly, it could have been 1 episode actually.
Right.
But they strict. No, like 30 minutes.
Okay, a short.
Yeah, because the thing is, okay, I don't know if you guys remember back in the mid 90s, Pepsi ran an ad where if you collect the points, you can get hoodies, t-shirts, jackets, things like that. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
I was
okay.
You got to remember, Rachel's a lot younger than us.
Sorry.
Okay, well, at the end of the commercial, they show a kid with a jet, and he's like, "It's better than taking the bus." And it was like something ridiculous, like 7 million points, right? Now, everybody watching that knew that was a gag, and Pepsi's not really giving you a Harrier jet. But this 22-year-old college student was like, you know what? I want the jet. It's legit. So this is where the part where they stretch this out to where basically this guy like climbs mountains and stuff, and he linked up with this other mountain climber hippie type dude who has money. So basically at first he just tries to buy the Pepsi normally to collect these points, realize it wasn't enough. dropped the whole thing. But then he found like the small print in the back of the catalog where it was like, oh, you can purchase the points yourself, like 10 cents a point or something like that. So then he talked to the hippie guy that he climbed mountains with. And he was basically comes out to like $700,000. And they wanted him to basically pay for this. And the guy was like, well, okay, but what do we do with a jet? So he was like, can we even legally own a jet? So somehow this guy got in contact with the Pentagon and spoke to the guy. Was like, hey, can a civilian own a jet? And basically he was like, I guess so, probably without the,
The
missiles,
weapons.
guns, and things like that. So the next thing they were like, all right, once we do get this jet, what are we going to do with it? He was like, oh, we can give rides in it. But then the guy was like, there's only one seat in it. So he was like, oh, well, we can do at festivals like those flyovers and things like that. So they was like, okay, let's do it. So the guy cuts the check for $700,000. They mail it into Pepsi. A couple months later, Pepsi was like, here's your check back. Ha ha. Here's a couple coupons for some free cases of Pepsi. So then they were like, no, that's not enough. Like the hippie guy, like the whole time during this, he was like, basically, I don't really care. But the main guy's name was John Leonard. Okay. So he was like, whatever John wants to do, I'll keep going forward. So then somehow, I forget which happened. Either Pepsi sued them or they sued Pepsi. I forget which one happened first. But the point of the story is they meet with Pepsi's lawyers. They have a lawyer with John and the hippie guy. Pepsi writes a number. He was like, all right, so what do you guys really want? And John kept saying, I want the jet. And the lawyer's like, okay, what's the number? He was like, no, I want the jet. And then Pepsi was like, all right, wrote a number down, passed it to him. And John and the hippie guy go outside. They talk about the number. It was almost $1 million, like $800,000, $900,000. Let me pause the story. Now you realize Pepsi gave them back their check. So as a point of this story, they have not spent any real money on this situation.
I mean,
so basically,
the lawyers, but yes.
I mean, the lawyers, right. But Pepsi is basically saying, here's $800,000, $900,000. Go about your way. We are done here. The hippie guy, let me get his name real quick. Todd Hoffman. There we go. Todd Hoffman was like, hey, I think you should take the check, but it's up to you. They go back into the thing in the conference room. John rips up the check and was like, no, I want the jet. So at this point in the story, I'm just like, oh my God, just take the fucking money, man. So then they hire a different lawyer. Honestly, I did not know this, but it's the lawyer that represented that porn star that went with Trump. What was that lady's name?
Jenna Jameson?
No, not that one. But you know the one I'm referring to.
Stormy
That whole Trump
Daniels.
Daniels, there we go, that one. So the lawyer that represented her before represented this kid because he was new. He wasn't even a lawyer yet. He was still going to law school. And that's when he was like, we got to go in the office against Pepsi. So they started going to news stations and everything saying, hey, there was no disclaimer on the commercial and everything else like that, and how they really just want to give this kid a jet and everything. But like the whole time I'm watching this, I was like, why did you think that Pepsi would really give you a jet?
Right.
And then they brought up about how like people started defaming John, like, oh, you're just like one of those. Remember the story back in the day where the lady spilled McDonald's coffee on her and she sued McDonald's because it was too hot?
Right. And then like the whole thing is like people are like, oh yeah, you suing Pepsi because the hot coffee spilled on you. But the point was it was hotter than it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
That was the point of the suit, but people don't want to get the full story.
Right. And that's where it was on this one too, where people are like, well, you're just suing Pepsi to get money, to where he was like, they said I can get this jet. I want this jet. Just like Bart Simpson.
I was waiting on you to fucking finish this before I brought this up. Where's my elephant?
Elephant. Right. And basically that's exactly what this is he kept wanting this elephant. And long story, He does not end up with the jet. He does not end up with this money. And this legal battle they had for like 8, 9, 10 years, or whatever, you got nothing out of it. So then like they interviewed his mother, and then she was like, well, during this time, she was like, do whatever you want. But at the end of the interview, she was like, yeah, I wish you would have took that money. And I was like, exactly. Anybody with any common sense would have been like, just take the money.
Who was paying for the lawyers?
Todd Hoffman and some other people.
What the fuck? Why?
Because they were friends. They were
all this to lose. Buddies. All this to lose.
Right. So it was just like I remember the ad. I remember like the guy doing it. I didn't remember the outcome. And I'm watching this whole time. I'm just like, man, just take the money. What are you doing? You know damn well Pepsi was not going to give you a jet.
Where the fuck is Pepsi going to get a jet from?
Exactly.
Right. That's what you really need to be asking. It's like the U.S. military is not selling anybody a jet.
Right. And then like he even did the math, was like he looked it up to see how much a jet actually cost, and it was like $2, $3, $4 million. So he was like, oh, only $700,000. That's a good deal on a jet. And I was just like, and I actually think about it, I don't even know if this dude has a pilot's license. Todd Hoffman, the rich hippie guy, he has a pilot's license. The John guy, he don't have a license. So I'm like, what is this thing about you really want this jet? And it was like, I get it, like you said about the coffee was too hot type of thing, or it's the principle of it and things like that. And then even like Pepsi later on, during this time, they changed the number from 7 million to like 7 billion points on the ad, on the commercial. Then they changed it again. It was like, just kidding or something like that, because they knew they fucked up. But but still, why did you think Pepsi was going to give you a jet?
Yeah.
It's that white man entitlement.
Right. It was just like, I only watched it at the end. Like when I was watching it, I was intrigued. But then once he kept focused on like he really wanted this jet, and they started going through all the stuff to get to it, I was rooting against him. And I was like, I hope he gets nothing. And he doesn't get nothing. So let me ask you guys a question. When is the last time you made a new friend that was not at work and it was not in a relationship?
I like how you threw that in there, Matt. Oh, I mean, an actual friend?
Yes, an actual, like a good friend that you didn't meet at work and it was not something off a relationship.
How do adults meet people though, if not at work?
I've made like acquaintances.
How?
Like through events on Facebook and stuff.
Oh, that's right. You are a little social person, Rachel.
Sometimes.
That is, I guess that's the modern way. Yeah, I got nothing, Matt.
Yeah, neither, because I realized I can't remember the last time I met a new friend that was not at work or anything like that. But so my son is in sports and stuff. So, while the kids are out there playing sports, the parents chit chat and talk. So we chit chat and talk with this one couple. Then we were supposed to go to Thanksgiving. We didn't feel like cooking, so we was going to go to a buffet on that day or whatever. So Wednesday before Thanksgiving, my son had practice, and we're talking to this couple again, and they were like, oh no, you don't need to go to a buffet or go like this. Come to our house. And we was like, well, my wife was like, yeah. And I was like, I got to think this over. We got to let you know, because I don't know them, right. The small chit chats at practice and everything else like that. My son really wanted to go to play with their son. And I'm just like, it's the day before Thanksgiving. And you know how like people take food seriously. I just didn't know where they were from to know what type of food they would provide and things like that. But found out they're from like the wife is like Japanese and Hawaiian. Ooh. And he is from Guam. So I guess Guamanian, if that's a word. I don't know.
I can't.
Right. But all that to say, we went over there, had a very good time. Food was great. Other people was there, wasn't just us. Where they They had some chicken adobo, which is a Filipino dish, which is amazing. We got there at 2. We didn't leave till like 11:45.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was a good time. And I thought about you because they were like, "Oh, you know what? We should play some board games." And I was like, that's right up Chad's alley.
What'd y'all play? What'd y'all play?
Man, this fucking game is amazing. Hold on. I sent you the picture, but I don't remember the name of it now because I want to
Oh,
buy it.
that
It's
was
called
that was a minute ago.
Shifty Eye Spies. You have like little place markers on the table of different like locations, like a bookstore, a cafe, stuff like that. And
Mhm.
also you have a character all on the table. So you draw a card for a location and a character. So say if I pull your character, because it's like a spy game, you don't want other people to know. So in order for me to get your attention, for you to tell me the location that you have, I have to wink at you.
Okay.
But if somebody else sees you winking, then they can throw a little thing, flag on the play type of thing, and you have to redo it. So it's just funny, like 7, 8 people trying to hide winking at somebody, or the person you're trying to wink at is not actually looking at you. So you got to get their attention. It was a blast. I had fun.
Okay.
What if you're bad at winking?
Are
Then
you
you
bad
gonna
at
lose
winking?
this game.
Rachel, are you bad at winking? Do you know how to wink?
I feel like I am bad at it, but I don't know for sure.
All right, no, back to the stokes about making friends. So then it was like we talk about sports together, we talk about anime and then all this other stuff. So I told my wife, I was like, I think I might like him. I think we could be friends. And we was drinking and everything at their house, and then like later on that night, his wife was basically say the same thing. He was like, "Oh, I like Bad and everything else like that. Maybe we could be friends." So it's like first time making a friend as an adult without no work or anything else like that. So that's a story how I made new friends.
So far, so good. That's good to hear.
And then we went back over their house last night and then
So
didn't leave
this
until almost midnight.
Saturday. Okay. That's
Yeah.
really funny.
Right. So, I mean, like you said, honestly, if it wasn't for the kids, I don't know how to make any friends if it's not outside of
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of kids, Chad, what you been watching on Netflix?
Okay.
Because kids like Netflix.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay. So picking up from last week, I finished Dark, the series. So it's 3 seasons total. And I finished seasons 2 and 3, and it's really good. But I don't know if I would be very selective in who I recommend it to. Like
Elaborate.
the first thing against it is it's a German show, so like it's not in English, and dubs are terrible on Netflix. So it would be best to watch it in the original German. So that's not a plus for a lot of people, but it's like very confusing in that you're following at minimum 3 different timelines of the same people, but at different times in their life, or sometimes 2 people, depending on how old they are, right? And so there's different actors playing these people, and you're like, oh wait, who is that as a kid? And it's like the whole point is like the family tree. So then you're like, okay. Who is your father? Who is your
Mhm.
mama? And like all those pieces. And like by the end of season 2, like my head was just hurting of like just trying to remember who these people are. And then light spoilers, season 3, they introduce alternate dimensions. And so in
So it
season
just adds more to it.
right. And then so in season 3, I was genuinely started like so I kind of alluded. Was I talking to you about Dark season 3, Rachel?
Not a whole lot, I don't think.
Okay, it must have been one of my other women. But So I was getting a little bit annoyed that like I'm like fuck we're in a new dimension. I gotta learn how these new characters act, and these new characters aren't in relationships with the same fucking people as the original universe. But there was one scene that was really funny that like gave me like hope for this new season. It's in the original dimension, this man was married to this woman, and he had an affair with this woman that he grew up with that had a crush on him, but they didn't start hooking up until they were adults. And in the main universe, they first like had sex like at his anniversary party, like outside in the shed. And like my whole thing with like TV shows and sex, spontaneous sex, is like nobody wearing condoms, right? And so in the alternate universe, when they had sex in that shed, he got her pregnant, and he ended up leaving his wife. And so the she is suspecting him of like cheating on her, even though he cheated on her with somebody else. And so she goes to see his wife, and she's like, oh hey, I was just coming by to see if your ex-husband dropped something off for you all's kids. And she's like, why would he drop something off? And then it's just like that slow realization that the original wife realizes that she thinks her husband is cheating on her, and like that slow like smile, but she's like keeping it cool. I'm like, I really like that. That's funny. But as a whole, I was just like, I'm really annoyed that we are introducing these new things on the final season, and like we have so much time left. Why are we doing this? And like it kept cutting back to the alternate universe people living their lives, and I'm like, why are you giving time for this? So that was annoying. Like overall, the show is good. Like if I were to rate the show as a whole, I would give it a 4 out of 5. It's really good. A lot to keep track of. I feel like it got a little bit messy in that third season when we introduced alternate dimensions, but it's a really solid show.
So if you took out the third season, would it still be 4 out of 5, or would it be?
Sadly, there is a point to the alternate dimension stuff, because like the whole point of the show is like um everything that has happened will happen and has happened before. So like there are like people that are like elderly because mm, there are some characters that have interacted with their past selves because they're trying to change the course of time. So like the whole point of the show is like meddling with time, and like you need the other dimension to like have a way in which to stop this, like the cycle. So sadly, it like my only thing is like we didn't need to cut away to these people's lives as much, because it's like, okay, we get it. Like let's get to the high level stuff. We don't need to be on the ground here about this fucking affair business, because like in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. But also I bought an Apple TV off of some old lady off of Facebook Marketplace. Um I didn't need it. Like it was a good price, but I didn't need it. Like my Roku works fine. And I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the Apple TV. Now
Why is that?
So hold on, I got some notes here. Where are my notes at? All right, here we go. So I'm gonna tell you my pros. So pro, I really like the multitasking. So like I could be in YouTube, and then if I hit the home button and I start up something on Netflix and I watch some Netflix for a couple hours, I could just double tap the home button, and just like on your phone, on your iPhone, you go back to the app. I go back to YouTube and it's playing exactly where it was paused. I think that's really cool. You got seamless connection with your AirPods. So like if you're watching unless you changed your settings on your phone, like if let's say you're watching something on your phone, and then like maybe you get on your your computer, and something like maybe an ad with sound comes on, and your phone, your computer will just switch the AirPods to the computer audio. And I find that annoying. But like if you connect your AirPods to the Apple TV and you're playing with your phone, it's not going to switch. So I think that's cool. I like the idea of a rechargeable remote, and also like the Apple TV has picture in picture, which is cool, but not all the apps support it.
What do you
So
mean
it's
picture in picture?
so like let's say you're watching something on Apple TV, and if you go up, and then it's like the icon like all the way to the right, it's like to the right, it'll have what's playing on Apple TV, like the app Apple TV, in like a little box, and then you can like have something else going, but not a lot of apps support that. So it's cool in theory, but in practice not so much. Matt's gonna do a live test for us. Just play anything.
All right, Netflix is on.
No, Apple, the Apple app,
Oh,
because not all the apps support it. That's the problem.
all right. They're on Mythic Quest. All right. Now you said go up.
Yeah, and then you should see like 3 icons, like one of which is the sound, whatever one's on the
Right.
right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It minimizes just like your phone so you can do other stuff. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's cool
yeah.
in theory, but it's like, what are you really gonna do with that?
Right.
So cons. I feel like the user interface is a little basic.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And also I feel like the remote is some bullshit. Is this close to me? So I'm sorry, audio listeners. But okay, so this is the Apple TV remote, and then this is the Roku remote. And like I just like how like the Roku remote's a little bit fatter. It feels better in the hand, in my opinion. On the side of the Roku remote or the volume buttons, I feel like that's a much better place than here, like on the front. Um, I don't know. I just like the button layout a lot better. I feel like I just don't think this is a good remote. This feels too thin. This feels like if I squeeze hard enough, I'm going to break it.
Right. And it's not like smooth or whatever. It's like a little block.
Yeah, yeah. It just doesn't feel great in the hand. And I actually talked to somebody about this, and they told me how to not make it a thing. But like you know how like if you're listening to music on your if you don't mess around with your watch, if you have an Apple Watch and you don't mess around with the settings, like if you're playing music, it'll automatically have like the player controls on your watch, like where you could
Mhm.
pause music or whatever. So I had to do something on my watch, but it would do that when I play stuff on the Apple TV. So
Mm.
like it'd be like, oh yeah, the player controls. I can pause my Netflix or whatever, which is cool in theory once more. But I have a small child that, you know, I don't even realize it. And like she'll like turn the screen off on my watch. Cause she,
Mhm.
climbing on me and stuff. So like we had her YouTube show on, and then it's like it would just go to the home screen. I'm like, oh, because you were like climbing on me and shit.
Right.
But I learned how to turn that off. So like overall, this is not something that I'm glad I didn't pay full price for it. I am gonna like play around with it a little bit more. Excuse me. But for me personally, I like the Roku better. But when I get more TVs, I'll already have a streaming box for it.
Oh,
Also, I finished up Andor. I know Rachel's been watching it. I recommend the show, Matt, but me personally, I feel like the show peaked after the 6th episode,
How many
like
episodes were there?
12.
Okay.
In my opinion, the show's really good, but like, so like what's neat about the show is like, every couple episodes is its own little arc. So 1 through 3 is its own arc. and 4 through 6 is his own arc. And I feel like the arc 4 through 6 is the best one, in my opinion, because it's like a heist. So like episode 4, he's meeting the people that he's going to do the heist with, and they don't trust him because like they're a few days away from the heist, and they're like, who the fuck is this dude? We don't know if we can fucking trust you. And in episode 5, they're going through like, all right, here's the plan. Here's what we're going to do. But we still don't fucking trust you. And then episode 6 is the actual heist. And it's like, this is genuinely, it's been a long time since I've watched something, and I'm literally on the edge of my seat. I can't breathe because I'm like, if anything goes wrong, y'all all dead. Like, there's a part where like one person in on the plan is talking to somebody that's not in on the plan, but like he's not like somebody that they're stealing from. He's a third party, and like he gives the dude a look, and you're like, oh shit, is he about to tell on them? Like, it's just like so many factors happening, and it's just like you don't breathe, you don't like catch your breath until like the heist is over. But then some shit still happens after that where you're like, I thought, why are you doing this right now, sir or ma'am? Who knows? But the other little arcs were pretty good. Like the finale was good, and somebody says a speech basically about how like we got to stop letting the Empire like walk all over us. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I was tearing up when she was making that speech, and I was like, yes. But I don't know. I personally feel like it ended on a whimper, the season. But overall, the series is really good in my opinion. If you are tired of like, oh yeah, Star Wars, pow pow pow, that's all this is, just some silly shit. Like this is adult Star Wars. Like where there's action and stuff, but like the writing is like, this is probably the best writing in all of Star Wars.
Your enthusiasm for episode 6 has got me intrigued, so I'll watch it based off your enthusiasm about the high stuff. So I'll watch it.
I appreciate you. And real talk, if you just want to watch those 3 episodes and make your mind up if you want to go from there.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So what were your thoughts on it, Rachel?
I mean, overall, I thought it was good. I think it kind of like ebbed and flowed a little bit too much for me. Like, I wish it was, I don't know, for me personally, like I thought it could have been more consistent. Like the first couple episodes, I was like not really into it. And then the third one, I was like, oh, I'm really into it. And then that kind of happened a couple times throughout the season for me.
Yeah, because like the whole thing is like these are mini arcs. Like really what they could have did was like had 3 episodes on every month. Like here we're gonna have all 3, the first 3 episodes, we're putting these on the first Friday of the month, and then next month you get the next 3. Because it's like, I agree, because it's like they're all their own mini season.
Yeah, well, I just wish there was a little bit more going on, and like I know they're setting it up for that 3rd episode payoff, but I kind of wish there was a little bit more in the couple episodes leading up to that, just to keep my attention a little bit more.
No, I get you.
Yeah, but otherwise I thought it was really good. I mean, as you know, I kept thinking like, oh, is this the ending? Is this the ending? Like,
right.
It kept feeling like it was going to be ending, and then it didn't. And I mean, I'm glad it didn't, because I liked like seeing the story play out. But yeah, so overall I think it was solid. I just wish it was a little bit more consistent in some of the other episodes too.
Yeah, I always found it funny, like at the end of like episode 6, she was like, wow, that was some good stuff. Well, I hope they get a season 2. I'm like, well, there's 6 more episodes, Rachel. You're like, oh, okay, okay. And then she'd be like, oh man, after episode 9, that was some good stuff. I hope they get a season 2. I'm like, Rachel, we still got a couple more, dude. And then it's like episode 11. She was like, Well, that's an interesting way to end the season. Rachel, we got one more episode. What are you?
Yeah,
But no, I get you. Did either of you watch the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special?
I did not.
No, I forgot that it was. I didn't even know. I saw the trailer, but I forgot that it was out.
Me personally, I didn't like it. It's so what immediately turned me off is like I personally like musicals, but I don't always like movies with music in them. Is that if that makes sense? So
Mhm.
like there were like a couple of times where like people were like performing in the band and like we're just watching them perform and like little light stuff is happening. Like,
Mhm.
but not really. Like it's not like it's pushing the movie forward. It's just like this person's singing and we're doing wacky stuff while they're singing, but it means nothing. And so like that was kind of annoying. Also Kevin Bacon is in it and he like has a whole song at the end of the movie and I'm like, is he one of these celebrities with a band? Is that what's happening here? Is that why he's here?
Does he sing?
He
Or
sings in the movie, in the
oh,
show, whatever. But I'm like, does he have a band? Like, is he one of those celebrities?
huh.
But also, I don't know. It was a little annoying because it was another thing that was kind of annoying to me. And I'm also going to spoil something after this. It's that, what's Batista's character's name?
Oh,
Uh, Drax? Is that
Yeah,
right?
Drax.
yeah.
Yeah.
Drax and Mantis come to Earth to kidnap Kevin Bacon. And people are seeing them walk down the street and they're freaking out. And I'm like, this is in a post blip world where you're aware of like Thanos and shit. And it's like, it didn't feel like the freaking out where it was like, oh man, are you another Thanos? Because also, like, technically they're Avengers, right?
Right. Right.
But it felt like oh no, aliens. I've never seen that before. That's what it felt like. And I'm like, we're
Mhm.
past that shit. We are
Right.
fucking past that shit in this universe. Like, if fucking Rocket Raccoon is walking down the street and he's having a conversation with people, that's normal. That's normal to y'all.
Right.
Yeah. So I didn't like that. But
Oh,
apparently,
and also to answer your question, yes, Kevin Bacon is in a band.
what is it called?
Well, he formed a band with his brother called the Bacon Brothers, and they also sings with a band called Old 97s.
Yes. That they're in the movie because they're in the credits.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
So it's his band. Okay. So apparently, Star Lord and Mantis are siblings.
How does that?
So Kurt Russell is both of their fathers.
Oh,
Did
okay.
is this something that we should already know, or this is a discovered in this movie?
So that was the thing, because I was like, did I forget that story point
Right.
from Guardians 2? But apparently only Drax knew, and our friend of the show, Madge, she watched it, and I texted her and I was like, did I not did I miss something? And she's like, no, I think that was just introduced here. And I'm like, that's a weird place to introduce that information.
Yeah.
Like they didn't really do
Yeah.
anything with it. Like at the start of it, Peter didn't know, and then she wanted to kidnap Kevin Bacon for him. And then when that went tits up, she was like, "Oh hey, by the way, I'm your sister," and they hug. The end. It's not good. In my opinion, it's not good. And it was very Christmas heavy. Like it's called the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, but they lean really hard into Christmas.
Mhm.
And I felt like the energy that they were trying to produce was the Star Wars Holiday Special. Are you guys familiar with that?
No.
Mm-mm.
So it came out in Star Wars. The original Star Wars came out in '77, and I believe the holiday special came out on NBC in '78. And for the longest time, George Lucas like did everything he could to like destroy the existence of that movie, of that TV special, because it's really bad. It's really fucking bad. But the whole thing was like they were trying to get Chewie home so that he could celebrate Life Day with his family, which, is their Christmas insert, but it wasn't Christmas. So they were like, this is the Star Wars holiday special. But like the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special is about Christmas. So I'm like,
right. So they could
yeah,
Just
have
call
been
it
called Christmas.
right.
But I feel
So
like
now,
oh sorry.
oh, no,
Go
go ahead,
ahead.
Rachel.
Oh, I was just saying growing up, like I feel like a lot of places did that. Like at school they called it like the holiday party, but it was really the Christmas party. Like the holiday songs, but really Christmas songs.
Say if I never watched this and we did not have this conversation,
Mhm.
and is this a standalone thing? But I guess not, since they introduced Quill and Mantis being brother and sister. But so if somebody who did not watch this and then the next they continue on the rest of the Marvel stuff, this would not be a like, for example, if you have a new person watch Marvel, are you going to have them watch this because they need to know all this information to go forward?
I wouldn't. And I bet that this is gonna come up. The sibling thing will come up in Guardians 3, like probably more naturally.
Okay.
So I don't really feel like this is something that needs to be shown. And also, like, it was I saw, like, when I started it, I hit pause and it said it's like 45 minutes long. So I'm like, guaranteed this is gonna air on TV next month.
Okay. Cool. Then I'll just wait to see it.
No,
Or if whenever I'm like,
don't watch
whenever
it.
I think about it. Oh, okay.
I personally wouldn't recommend it.
Right. Well, you know me. I don't really like singing anyway. So.
Well, yeah. Well, like I said, it's like I really want to fast forward through those parts. But I was like, is something important going to happen during these songs? No. Okay.
Right.
But hey, he got his band off the ground, so whatever. All right. Were you guys ready to push through?
Yes.
Let's do it.
This week we discuss The Gentleman.
I want you to imagine a character. Your boss, Mickey Pearson.
Sweet Mary Jane is my vice. You're out of touch, and I would like you to consider an offer.
I am not for sale. The plot begins to thicken. Now, I can't be specific about the heroes and zeros, but our protagonist is a hungry animal. There is a lot of money hanging in the balance. Our antagonist explodes on the scene like a millennial firework and has indirectly started a war.
I think you need to see this, boss.
That's one of my firearms. How do they find it?
Rachel, hit us with that description.
Oh, is it written?
No, Rachel.
Oh, I have to do it on my own?
Just freeball it.
Okay. So The Gentleman is about this guy who is trying to sell his marijuana business, and everyone, it kind of stirs up trouble and people are competing to earn his trust to sell them the business instead. And yeah, hijinks ensue.
Hijinks ensue. So before we get into like the descriptions and stuff, why did you pick this movie?
I genuinely thought that you guys would have fun with it. So that's why I picked it.
All right, let me roll back. When you've been asking me to watch this movie for some time, why did you want me to watch it then?
Yeah, because I thought you would like it.
That's all. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair.
That is my sole reason for choosing this movie. I thought you guys would both like it and have fun with it. I was a little worried because I hadn't seen it in a while, and I rewatched it for, this episode, and I was like second guessing it because I always do that, but I really thought you guys would enjoy it. Matt, what did you think of The Gentleman?
I thought it was stupid. Now just play it. I like this movie. I really enjoyed it. I like Matthew McConaughey. I really like, I don't know his
Henry
name, the guy from
Henry
Sons of,
Henry Go.
yeah,
Not
from
Henry Golding.
Sons of Anarchy.
What
The
is
guy with the
his name?
glasses.
What is his
Yeah.
name, Rachel? Charlie Hunnam.
Yes, there's something about guys when they're like calm and cool and they're like as they do stuff. Like that's why I like both of their characters, because they're both calm, but then when shit hits the fan, they do their thing. I like the at first I didn't like I don't like going back to do in time telling a story, but I like the way they did it here with the journalist guy explaining everything to him. We're going back to see how it was. I like the twists and turns. Yeah, all the way through. I thought like those guys videotaping themselves, putting on some YouTube. I was like, of course, that's some 2022 stuff. Let me go commit these crimes and then put it on YouTube.
That
And
was
then they
my
had a
favorite.
music video.
That was my
Right, they had a
fucking
music video
favorite
for it.
part, and I'm like, this should kind of go a little bit. I'm like,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, so I enjoyed that like all around. I enjoyed this movie. I was like, damn, why didn't I watch this when this came out and stuff like that? But no, overall, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, same here. I enjoyed it too. Like I said, like I said when you just mentioned it, that music video part where I'm like, oh, God, I'm here for this. Like, now be fair, I am an American, so I'm not trying to listen to British rap, but in this specific context, I'm with you, sir. I am not
Right.
gonna look up who you are. The cast was on point. I really like how they told the story. I will say I wasn't a fan of Jeremy Strong, the guy, the Jewish tech billionaire. I didn't really care for like, why are you playing this character effeminate?
Oh yeah.
Like that felt a little weird, mostly because I'm like, I know how you actually sound. So like this acting choice feels weird, but okay. Also, like how horny Hugh Grant was. What are we
I
doing
love
here?
that. I thought that was hilarious where he was like what did he say?
Charlie Hunnam was like, I'm going to bed, and he's like, can I come with you?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
He did a lot of little quips like that.
But also like as soon as this movie started and it was like, this is a Miramax film, I was like, wait, what? Because of Harvey Weinstein. And then at the end of the movie, when Hugh Grant is trying to sell the movie to Miramax, and they had like a fucking fake ass Harvey Weinstein behind the desk, I was like, what is happening in this movie? This came out at a time when y'all knew better.
Right.
But no, I liked it. Also, my last thing. Why was Henry Golden out here trying to rape the wife? What the fuck was that?
Right. And that was unexpected because you thought that just kill her were like that, but when he bent her over the table, I was like, oh, he wilded out here. I was like, because there was no parts in this where he was like,
yeah,
for him to do that, it would just be just a killer. But then he was like, he was going to do that, and I was like, oh, he wilded.
I'm like, sir, this. What are we doing here, sir?
Right.
But I thought that scene was hilarious when she put out that tiny gun and she was like, what the fuck is that? She's like, I think Henry Golden was like, that's a paperweight. And she's like, I love that scene. But yeah, this movie was excellent. Good choice, Rachel.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys liked it. Yeah, I mean, I liked it too. I think the second time around, it wasn't as good as the first time around.
Because you knew what to expect.
Well, but it had been so long, I kind of remembered and kind of didn't. So some of the stuff was like, some of the stuff was still unexpected, but it wasn't as unexpected as I remembered it being. Like some of the stuff, I could kind of guess more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's because I had seen it before or just because I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but yeah, I still think it's fun. I think it's hilarious that Hugh Grant actually like his character actually wrote a script and was actually pitching it at the end. I thought the acting was really good for the most part. I thought Hugh Grant actually played a character that was different from like his other characters he's played in movies.
Leading man and shit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like I really liked the change for him. I I wasn't sure about some of the comments if they like were borderline racist on the second watch.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
most of the stuff with when referring to the Asian characters, yes.
And
Yeah.
what he called him when he was like he called him a black cunt, and he was like, wait, that's racist. He was like, oh no, you are black and you are a cunt. He was like, no, he's like, and then they had the whole scene about them trying to decide if it was racist or not.
Right.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff in there. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
so that's
I don't know if you should be exploring these topics, Guy Ritchie, but okay.
right.
Right.
That's why on the second watch I was like, oh, maybe this wasn't as good of a choice as I thought. But I still overall liked the movie and I thought it was fun the second time around too. So there, and you catch little stuff that you don't catch the first time or that you don't remember from the first time. So
What do you guys think the Rotten Tomatoes was on this movie? Also pause. I don't know why the fuck I did this trivia. This should have been Rachel's job.
I was
Next
surprised
person
you
that
didn't ask me
That
to
I was. That's all. I was waiting for her to take the lead, and you took the lead on this part. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe she was just gonna do the beginning.
this is a beta test. Next person to get 10, they're about to get some fucking work in. All right. What do y'all think the Rotten Tomatoes is?
I want to assume I'm based it solely off me, and everybody revolves around me. Since I never heard about this movie, I want to say a lot of people didn't. So I'm gonna say 70.
Ooh, I'm gonna say something in the 80s.
75 with an 84% audience score.
Oh,
That's very low in my opinion.
No, I agree. This is quite good.
It gives me the feeling of like, I don't know, I guess guys in suits and an English accent and a spy thing gave me vibes of The Outfit, which I love The Outfit. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Yeah,
I guess to kind of swipe at Guy Ritchie though, like how many times has he made this movie though? Like,
give me an example.
The bulk of his movies are gangster shit. Like Snatch. Snatch is one movie. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. That's another one. Rock and Roller. Other shit because I don't have his filmography up. But it's like his whole bread and butter are these gangster movies. And even when he's not making a gangster movie, he's making a gangster movie. Like he did that remake of King Arthur, where fucking Arthur was basically a gangster in medieval times. Aladdin, like live action Aladdin.
wasn't
Yeah.
Aladdin kind of a departure for him?
That shit felt very Guy Ritchie in the beginning, like during One Jump Ahead of the Bread Line. What is that? What's that song called?
Oh, I don't remember the title, but I know what you're talking about.
Street Rat or whatever. That felt very Guy Ritchie, that whole sequence, in my opinion. He did the 2 fucking Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, yeah, I liked those.
So it's like a lot of the same shit. So he's good at this. So I feel like he had to kind of mix it up and like tell the story out of order just because like what the fuck else can I do to tell the same goddamn story? So I had a little well, I wouldn't say fun, but in the movie, the woman that played Laura Pressfield has a famous father. Y'all remember Laura, the one that was in the drug house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in real life, she has a famous father that appeared in one of Guy Ritchie's early movies. Who is her father? Is it Jason Statham, Sting, Brad Pitt, or Benicio del Toro?
I have no idea what none of these people's kids look like.
That's the thing,
So
though. That's the thing. We don't know what any of these motherfuckers kids look like. And then like some of their kids are actually famous and shit, you know? Like you're like, oh,
Right.
who's that girl in that Euphoria show? Oh yeah, that's so and so's daughter. Like what?
Right. So then I will say, what's the second person you said?
Sting. So
Sting.
Jason Statham.
Let's go Sting.
Okay. Jason Statham, Sting, Brad Pitt, or Benicio del Toro.
I'm gonna guess the last one.
Benicio?
Yeah.
So Matt, you're right with your guess of Sting. That's his
Oh.
daughter.
uh,
All right.
Good job, Matt.
Yes. Good guessing,
shot in
sir.
the dark.
Pow pow. All right. So in October 2020, Guy Ritchie announced he is writing a TV miniseries based on this movie. Don't know why.
Yeah.
Though never mentioned in the movie, fans found an Easter egg revealing Fletcher's first name is Peter. And lastly, at 26:39, it is shown that the name of the vehicle styling and body shop that Rosalind owns, who's Matthew McConaughey's character's wife, is called Thick Wheels. Thick spelled THC Wheels. So a nice fun play on words because THC is a main component in cannabis.
Gotcha.
But also thick, like that ass. But all right, it is always a pleasure, Rachel, when you come on. And I just appreciate you this last year of you appearing on the show. You've always been a very reliable person that could come in and give us a decent show. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
I repeat those sentiments. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And thank you for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weused2talkpod@gmail.com. Like our Facebook page, We Used to Talk About This at Work, and follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at We Used to Talk Pod. I have no idea what we're talking about next week, but Matt and I will figure it out, and you'll find out when we find out shit.
And like always, I don't know if this was a good episode. I don't know if it was a bad episode. But whatever you think about it, talk about it at work. Thank you for listening.